All right. Today we are going to be learning about percents. Let's read the formal definition of a percent before we get into our calculations. So percents are actually just fractions, except percents are always out of 100. So our denominator for a percent will always be out of 100. We use a special symbol to represent percents. I know you've all seen this because you get graded. And percents can be expressed as decimals or fractions. So if you notice on your quizzes, I'll give you a mark, like let's say I give you 6 out of 10, and then beside it, I would write 60%. So 6 out of 10 is the fraction, 60% is the percent, and then to change it to a decimal, what do? You would just move the decimal place to give you 0.6, exactly. So let's just take a look at a couple of these over here, the little circles. 0% means it's 0 out of 100. 25% means it's 25 out of 100. So if you get 25% on an exam, it means you got 25 answers correct out of a total of 100 questions. 50% means you got 50 questions correct out of a total of 100, and 100% means you got 100 questions out of 100. You guys all understand that idea, right? Because like I said, you've all been using, you've been graded. Now I have a formula. However, I don't like to use this. I'm just going to put it up there in case someone likes it. I have another method to teach this, just like the ratio stuff, which I think will be a little bit more helpful to you. So we're going to get right into our examples. There are only 2 of them, and I feel like I didn't give enough room for this. So we're going to have to squish a little bit. If Anuj earned 70 out of 80 on his test, what percent did he earn? Okay, so let me walk you through. I know you probably already know it, but let me walk you through how I would set this question up, because I do want you to follow a certain technique. First, just like before, I am going to write down all of the words in this ratio. So if you got 70 correct, what is the other column that we can have? Yeah. Total questions, yeah, but also there's another one. Correct, total, and incorrect. Good. So let's start with that. We're going to write down correct to incorrect equals total. Okay, now for percent questions, I actually have another set of descriptive words on the side. So I write down real, and then I write down percent. And what this means is my first row of numbers is going to have the real life numbers. And then the second row of numbers are going to be all of the percentages. Okay, so let's start filling this out and I'll show you what I mean. First of all, what does the test have to be out of in terms of percentage? What's the total percent the test is out of? Abhisha? Exactly. So on the bottom right-hand corner, under total and across percent, I'm going to write down 100 because every test has to be always out of 100. Okay, let's fill in a couple of other things. Question? You don't have to. I'm just doing that as a guide, but you don't have to write it. If he got 70, where are we going to put that? Is that correct, incorrect, or total? Yes, so he got 70 correct. Where do you think the 80 is going to go? Under total. And so how many did he get incorrect? 10. So we would actually say 10 is the hidden number. It didn't say it explicitly in the question, but we can assume that if he got 70 out of 80, he got 10 marks off. What percent did he earn? So we're trying to figure out not what percent he got incorrect, but we want to know what percent of the questions he got correct. So where are we going to put the X? Under correct. Good. So let's do that and write our let statement, which is going to just be, I'll write it over here. Let X represent, I won't be lazy, I'll write the whole thing. Percent correct. You guys, take a look at how we've set up the question. Does this seem familiar to you? It's exactly like before. So we're going to follow the exact same steps. We're going to make a proportion, which is just going to be 70 over x is equal to 80 over 100. Can we simplify these numbers? Yep. You can divide by 20, good. So it's going to be 70 over x is equal to 4 over 5. Okay, now to solve for x, what we're going to do is we're going to multiply the 70 times the 5. You always multiply the two numbers diagonally that are given to you over the number across from the x. So it would just be 70 times 5 over 4. These are pretty manageable numbers. What's 70 times 5? Okay, I know you guys are good at mental math, but I'm going to use the long, old-fashioned way. This is going to be 8, 32, subtract. Oh, we end up getting a, we end up getting a decimal. So 2, we're going to add a decimal place here, 0, bring it down, another 0 there, and we're going to end up getting 87.5. Good thing we learned how to divide decimals, which I know we kind of skipped over. Yep.
Are we not allowed to top 57 and 5?
You can't. No. It's only when it's on the same side with the multiplication sign. Yeah. So this boy did pretty well on his test. He got 87.5%. We just need our therefore statement, which would state, therefore, Anuj earned 87.5%. Okay, so what do you think for question number 2? Only 20% of the students remembered to bring in their loonies for charity. There are 850 students in the school. How many forgot? What do you think are the columns that we're going to write when we write it in words? Sharia? Yeah, so let's just try to summarize that a little bit. I'll write forgot, remembered, or brought. Yep, anything that works for you. And then I'll write total. Just like before, whenever I see a percentage sign, I know that there is another little category that I'm going to have over here, and it's going to be real numbers and percentages. There's one number you can fill in right away, and that is the total percent has to be 100. Let's start putting in some more information. So the question starts by saying only 20% of the students remember to bring in their loonies. So that is a percentage, which means it's going to go in the second row. Is it going to go under forgot or remembered? Okay. And so now what is the hidden number that we can also fill in? Good. So now we know 80% forgot, 20% remembered out of a total of 100%. Okay, let's keep reading the question. It says, if there are 850 students in the entire school, where do you think that's going to go? Total, and that's a real number, right? That's an actual number of students, so that's going to be 850. We keep reading. How many forgot to bring in their money? So not what percent of students forgot. We already know that it's 80, but how many actual students forgot to bring in their money? That means I'm going to put my X right over here. I guess I'll be consistent with my previous question. I will write my let statement up here. So it honestly doesn't matter. I'm just trying to keep it the same. Let X represent students who forgot their money. What do you think our proportion will be? What over what is equal to what over what? You want to try, Carmela? Anyone else want to try it? An easy one. You're just reading it off. Kathleen, you want to try it? You got it. X over 50 is equal to 850 over 100. Can I reduce 850 over 100? Yeah, I can make it into 85 over 10, and then I can also divide that by 5. That's probably the easiest way to think about it. So what do you end up getting when you do that? Let's try it. We have X over 80. Oh, I keep erasing. I know it's going to be 85 over 10. What's 85 divided by 5? I get 17. So 17 over 2. X is going to be equal to, what two numbers am I going to multiply here? Yeah, I'm going to multiply 80 by 17 and then divide by 2. Now I could make this question a little easier. What can I divide? What can I reduce before I even start multiplying? Gunujan? Yeah, I can make this into a 1 and I can make this into a 40. It's just cross reducing. With fractions, you're allowed to do that as long as everything is multiplied together. So really, our final answer will just be 40 times 17. 0, 28, 0, 0, 4. Oh, you guys are just too fast. Too fast for me. Did you guys get 680 as well? Emily? You could have done that as well. Yeah. That's our final answer. So we're going to have our therefore statement, which is going to say, how many forgot to bring in their money? So therefore, 600, wow, that is a very forgetful school. 680 students forgot to bring in their money. Okay, Nayara. Yes, I think these are very valid numbers. Gunujan?
So, I haven't like another way. I don't know.
So I don't want you to panic when you see your homework, but there are quite a number of questions. So let's just turn to handout G for a second. I'm gonna say you guys don't need to do questions 1 and 2. And then I know there are 20 questions up till 28, so 26 questions. That might seem like a lot because it probably is. However, if you wanted to get a lot of practice, do all of them. If you feel pretty comfortable, you could skip a couple if you find that they're repetitive and just pick and choose which ones you want. I would say try to get at least 17 questions done, okay? So any 17 that you want, do them. That would be enough practice for you to get really good at this topic. And then again, in tomorrow's class, we'll start by taking up a couple, not all of them, obviously. I already have a couple of solutions that I can post for you guys, but we'll just take up a few more in tomorrow's class.